local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
So, what's it like to audition for American Idol and make the first cut? Local musician James Ethan Clark, did just that, and he's here this morning to tell us about the experience and what's next for him as he pursues his dream career in the music industry. Now, I know you for a few years, and I've known your dad for many years, and I know you as Ethan, but your billing title is James Ethan Clark.
That's right.
Yeah. And just for folks that have been familiar with the Azalea Festival, your dad, Jim Clark, ran the street fair for like 8 or 9 years for the Azalea Festival. And
he did, a long time.
Yeah.
And, I was kind of raised around it.
Yeah.
So.
Did you used to tag after him during the?
Of course, yeah.
So I said your dream career. What is your dream?
That's a good question. You know, some people can say, you know, my dream is to play huge packed out shows and sell platinum records and that kind of thing, but
that's not so bad.
It's not so bad. No,
right.
No, don't get me wrong. But what my hope is for my music is that if I can write a song and it means something to somebody and affect them in a positive way, that's what I want. I want to relate to people.
So you want to communicate?
Yeah.
Why do you think music beckoned to you? I mean, did your folks say, why don't you play music? Or
no, they never pushed me to play music. I think what really got me, I have a very tight-knit family. My dad, Jeff, and my mother, Michelle. Her mother was a choir director for about 25 years, and she sang all the time, and she could play the piano incredibly. So I was raised around a choir.
And you gravitated to that, though.
I did. She passed away in 2003, and when she left us, there was a piece of me that was longing to sing and to play. And in about 2006, I picked up the guitar. My father showed me 3 chords to a Poison song, "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," and that's all I knew. And from there, I went on.
You just picked it up and just...
I taught myself.
Self-taught.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us, you auditioned for American Idol for this season.
I did.
And tell us about how that came about. Would you say, I'm going to go audition for American Idol?
Well, this wasn't my first time auditioning. About 2 years ago, I was talking with my dad, and he was like, you ever thought about auditioning for Idol? And I was like, I mean, not really. But we did some research online and figured out what we had to do, and we did it. In 2008, I auditioned in New York, and there's quite a few rounds you have to go through.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, because I imagine people think it's what they see in the previews, where you go in front of them, the judges, and you sing, and they go yes, no, and it's out.
But there's not it at all.
Right. So, but in 2010, or was it
this
11?
past year?
This past year.
Yeah.
So where did you go for the audition?
New York again.
You went to New York.
Yeah.
Where do they? I mean, how many people were there? Where do they hold all these people?
Well, they hold the first rounds in these huge auditoriums.
Okay.
And, you know, I'll not tell you really how it works because I'd give a little bit too much away about the show. But, you know, it's a long process, and it's very strenuous. So when...
I mean, how many people were in the auditorium? Would you say, what? How many people do you think auditioned in New York?
In New York?
5,000?
No, probably around 20,000.
Really?
Yeah, it's massive.
It's massive.
Yeah.
But
it's overwhelming.
All right, I am very curious. I know you don't want to give too much away, but I'm going to probe anyway.
Yeah, I might get a phone call from some producers. Some very angry producers in California.
Did you sign any confidentiality?
Yeah, I
Oh,
did.
you did?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let me throw something. In the beginning, you don't go before the 3 judges.
That's right.
You go, but there's a screening process. Is that
there
fair
is?
to say?
There's about 5 rounds.
5 rounds before you would ever get to.
Right.
Okay.
And that's, you know, very vague, but it's about you know, all I can really say. Like, you know, you go in this big auditorium and you're with all of these people, and they're all like, in the hallway, you walk to the restroom, and there's people in the corner. You know,
Right.
It's like
just a mass.
yeah, exactly. And there's people there that are totally terrible, and then you could be sitting next to the future idol.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
it's a whole another world,
Right.
honestly. That's, you know, that was the cool thing about seeing all of it, and for the past 3 years, seeing all of the process and how everybody does it and everybody's story. You hear so many.
So
different
you have a
stories.
number?
I'm sorry.
They give you a number?
Yeah, yeah.
And they scream out 27.
No, no. Really, how it works is, you know, you're in this big room
Right.
with all these people, and they call you down, and there's a bunch of tables you have to go through, that kind of thing, and it's really very difficult because the first audition, really, you go up in a row and they call you forward. You don't say a word. You just start singing. They hold their hand up. You stop. That's the first audition, and it's tough.
How long? And you sing like how long? Like
Doesn't matter.
30 seconds?
If you're bad, then they'll cut you off when they want, and if you're good, they'll let you sing for a little bit longer.
All right. So you got through that. You got through that phase.
Got through all those rounds. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a few more rounds after that, and then you make it to the judges, which, you know, was.
So you made it to the.
Yeah.
To
I made it
Jennifer
to
Lopez,
I
Stephen,
did this past year.
Tyler, and Randy Jackson.
And I made it last year in Atlanta in front of Simon Cowell. What's her name? The judge that used to be on there.
Yeah, the
Drawing a blank.
songwriter.
Yeah. Carrie Diaguardi.
Right.
Randy Jackson and Mary J. Blige, actually. And I got really nervous.
You did.
I did.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're in there and you're standing in front of these people that could totally change your life, and it's overwhelming. But this past year, I got to that round, and I remember telling my
Did they
folks,
talk to you?
Yeah, they did. They talked to me for a while. It's funny, you know, they didn't show much on Idol. All they really showed was me on a commercial and me choking.
Right.
And you know, it's good TV, whatever. But it was really cool because
What did they say when you sang for them?
well, how it worked, I walked into the room and something came over me. I was completely nervous. I was exhausted because I didn't get to go until the end of the day, and you had to be there like 6 o'clock. But I was totally exhausted, all that stuff. But as soon as I walked into the room, something came over me. It just hit me. And
you were comfortable.
I was fine. It's totally fine. I walk in and I'm sitting there looking at this gorgeous woman, you know, and this
Jennifer
rock.
Lopez looks good in person.
Steven Tyler. No, Jennifer Lopez. And this rock legend. You know?
Yeah.
And two rock legends.
Yeah.
Journey, you know,
Yeah.
and Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Sitting in the same room.
Yeah.
And Jenny from the Block. Come on.
We're going to take a break. He brought his guitar. You'll play something for us when we open the next segment.
Yeah.
All right. So stay with us. More to come.